Hey guys, welcome back to The Green Show. As you guys know, there's been a big boom of comedians coming into the city. We have a lot of short comedic films. And here with me today is Candace Weslosky. She is one of the biggest comedians in Atlanta. She also hosts Project Cosplay. She does Dragoncon, Rocky Horror. She does that every Friday night. I can go on and on and on and on. So Candace, pretty much tell us what is your passion and what led up to your first project ever?
Okay, so first off, thank you for letting me come and do the show with you. I'm very excited about it. I've been a subscriber on your channel for a long time.
Oh, thank you.
So make sure to subscribe.
Subscribe and like.
Exactly. And so I was excited to be here. But I'll say, if you look back, when I was in elementary school, every single report card that my parents ever received, every grade was always an A. But then there was conduct at the bottom, and it would say a big NI, which means needs improvement. And you'd flip it over, and on the back would always be a little note from whatever teacher I had that year stating, Candace feels the need to entertain the entire classroom. Candace feels that they're a performer and loves to joke and make fun of, this, that, and the other in class. You really should talk to her about this. And
were you one of those students where telling jokes were more important than the grades?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, so I was there. I was the class clown. I was ready to entertain, and really nothing has changed. So that was definitely my first unpaid performances were then. So classmates, you're welcome. And teacher, look at me now. Look at this fame.
So this was all through grade school, elementary, high school, middle school. You were just that class clown.
Yeah. I got kicked out of a lot of classes because I couldn't stop talking.
Did y'all have ISS?
We did.
Were you always did you live in ISS like me?
I did.
I lived in I love that.
One of those cubes was mine. That cubicle should have had a plaque with my name on it.
Did you do any high school plays, or was there any opportunities where you could tell jokes on stage?
There was plenty of times when I did chorus, I did band, orchestra, I was in musicals, and they were never comedic pieces, but I would somehow interject my own comedic style into it, whether people really wanted it or not.
Well, you were just telling me, you didn't tell me exactly what grade you were in, but you were saying that you were featured in a feature in one of the Uncanny X-Men comic books, Make Mine Marvel?
Yes, so back in, I think it actually started in the 60s, Marvel had a letter column in the back called Make Mine Marvel, and it was in regular X-Men, Uncanny X-Men, and definitely Wolverine, I know, because those were the core books that I read, and you could write in and you would be like, I love this issue, or I hate this issue, or I want you to change this or change that, and sometimes you would get published, and I think I was in 5th grade, and I got my letter in there, and I was so happy because someone saw it and wrote me back, and I had a pen pal for 3 years. Wow. And we would just, geek out about how much we loved X-Men.
That's pretty cool for two reasons. First reason, I always wanted to be featured in one of those comic books. And number two, I wasn't sure how that really worked because you're just kind of thrown in the back. Do they actually pay attention to what you're saying? Are they considerate? And the people who are reading those comic books, when they read those articles in the back, do they actually reach out to you? Do they care what you're saying? So that's pretty awesome.
It's interesting. The comic book is not who notified me that I'd even gotten into it. It was that someone else who had seen the article and wanted a pen pal wrote me. But otherwise, I would never have known, and Marvel, other than just reading the comic book itself, just buying it at the store. But
that's cool to get a pen pal through Marvel, because we only had pen pals in school. We had to write some people we didn't even probably really care to write to. Yeah. How long were you pen pals with that person? Do you remember their name?
It was a very generic sort of Italian name, like Isabella or something like that.
So it was a female.
Yeah, so it was a girl. And we wrote for 3 years, and her English was really poor, which was fine because so was mine. And so we just wrote back and forth and about how much we loved Rogue and Gambit. And then of course Age of Apocalypse ended up happening about 3 years after that, and then we were both satisfied with a Rogue and a Gambit series. So.
Awesome. How did your parents take you as far as always getting kicked out of your classes and stuff for being a comedian?
Oh, they were like, Candace, please stop talking. Can't you shut your mouth for 5 minutes? And I was like, I don't think I feel like I do all that much. But now I look back, yeah, they were right.
So right after high school, what was your first ventures? What was that first thing what was that first moment that made you say, you know what, I love doing this, and this is making me feel really good?
Definitely Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Awesome.
So I was a junior in high school when I started with Lips Down on Dixie in Atlanta.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that was without that long. I thought that was something new, like 7 years ago.
No, so this will be actually our 17th year.
Oh, wow.
I know. Isn't that
I didn't know
17 years of wasted youth? That's me. And because I was like 16 when I joined the cast, and they had only been performing for 2 weeks at the Plaza when I joined them. And
so you literally almost been there from the beginning.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I'm the longest running, continuously running member.
Well, for those who don't know, what is Lips Down on Dixie?
So Lips Down on Dixie is the longest running shadow cast of the Rocky Horror Picture Show at the Plaza Theater every Friday night at midnight, 1049 Ponce de Leon Avenue. And essentially we dance and sing and act out the movie in front of the movie. It's like 3D, but cheaper.
Okay, I was a part of, I was a guest on Lips Down on Dixie, and we did number 2.
I remember this. You Can't Stop the Beat.
Yeah.
Yes.
What is that from? What's that movie
Hairspray.
from? Hairspray.
Yes.
Yeah. So doing that was pretty interesting. I know I was nervous. I was scared. I don't do dance numbers. I don't perform like that in front of people. Good thing, we kept practicing and rehearsing. So when it came to being on stage, I think I actually did a pretty good job.
You were amazing. I remember.
So it's like every week.
Yes.
Thank you, by the way. Every week is a different movie, right? Or is it every month is a different theme or movie?
So essentially, you have the movie, which is Rocky Horror. It's the same movie every single week, all year long, every year. And so that's the constant. What's different is that we have a different cast every week, different performers. We have a cast of about 70 members, and they interchange and they switch in and out. And then we have specially themed night shows. They can have dances like when you were in. Sometimes we'll even theme the entire show to match. In November, actually coming up, we have partnered with Dragoncon, who does the Harry Potter pub crawl through the Virginia Highlands. And after the pub crawl, all of the people from the crawl are coming to the Plaza, and we are doing a Rocky Potter picture show. Wow. And the entire Rocky Horror Show is going to be themed with Harry Potter.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But Lips Down on Dixie, the cast members are separate from Rocky Horror cast, right?
No, they do all Rocky, but then they also do outside stuff too, like the dance you did, and they're very talented. They do a million other things on top of Rocky Horror, but Rocky Horror is a constant. It's always Friday. It's always there for you. When you've had a bad week, you can always come to the Plaza, and we're ready to entertain you.
Now, when you joined Lips Down on Dixie, did you also join Rocky Horror, or was it like you need to earn your way up to that part?
Yeah, so it was interesting. When I first joined, I worked at the backstage, and I was in charge of costumes because I'm a costumer and I sew and things like that. So they definitely took advantage of that in a good way.
Yeah.
And suddenly everyone was like, wow, you're so funny, we should do a pre-show to get everyone in the mood to start doing the show. And at the time, the director at the time was the one doing our pre-show, and he had like his own style, and it wasn't like silly comedic like how I am. It was just a totally different thing. And one night they were like, hey, why don't you try it? And so I did, and it just went balls crazy. Everyone was like, this is really funny, and this is ridiculous. We want more. And then here I am 17 years later, every Friday hosting the show and telling jokes and making games and stuff.
Now, is it usually you that hosts? I know Java's there sometimes, but is he there all the time? I can't remember.
Yeah, so I would say that I host probably 90% of the shows. That other 10% is filled in by, we have other people who are primary, hosts like Java and Nick Waddell and Mike Stork.
I didn't know Nick co-hosted.
Yeah, he does. And they don't often host by themselves. A lot of times they'll come and be like, we'll co-host together and do stuff in tandem. But they're definitely there to help support me when I can't be there at the show, because I do a lot of convention work. So obviously that restricts me being able to be at the show as well.
Now, I know hosting Rocky Horror is not something an amateur can do. Like, you got to be almost like a drag queen in the sense where you have to be on it.
Yes, that's actually a really great That is exactly what it is.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is, because you do have to think on your feet. It's late, it's midnight, it's late at night. People are drunk and they are rowdy, and they want to have a good time. And I've been heckled and I've had things thrown at me, but then again, I've also had people make t-shirts and bring me Jello and weird stuff like that. You get a strange following, and it's awesome. I love it. So
that's awesome. Because you also use that energy to fuel Project Cosplay as well. Yes.
Well, you of course knew Project Cosplay. You were a contestant, and I would like to say the first time winner, if I am correct, at the edition we did at Dragoncon. That's right. Yep. Because Project Cosplay was actually created originally at Outlanticon, which is the longest running LGBT plus convention in the Southeast, and it was so popular and people just thought it was so funny that we did, and it's essentially a spoof on Project Runway. So people are given all these ridiculous items and they have to try to make an outfit for a model, and the folks at Dragoncon saw it and they were like, you got to bring this to the convention, we think people would love it. And they were right. It was an instant hit. People loved it. Each year we got a bigger room, bigger ballroom, and also we're put later and later because I'm really vulgar. And so that's what we did.
Project Cosplay is pretty wild and crazy, because I remember my first time seeing it, I think was at Atlanticon first. And actually I was partners with your husband.
That's right.
Chris, and
I forgot about that.
Just a side note. So yeah, me and Chris, we knocked it out of the damn park.
Did.
But we didn't win because the judges felt that they might be biased. They think that the audience might think that they're biased.
That's right.
Which
the audience decides. The audience decides, not me, not the judges. We're just there to throw shade.
I think we got some pretty big crowd reactions, but it's okay. I was just there to support.
Have you moved past that?
Not just yet. Now I'm past it. Okay.
Okay, good.
So then, they brought it to Dragoncon, which is huge. It's the biggest convention in the state of Georgia.
It is. Yeah, it's the biggest sci-fi convention on the entire East Coast, actually.
So they did Project Cosplay, and like she was saying, I was one of the first contestants on that edition, and the audience was huge. I was like, oh my god, there's a lot of people in here.
Yeah, the first year we did it, we sat 1,000 people for it.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And they had to turn people away. And in fact, they had heard that it was going to be such a hit that PBS showed up. Yeah. Remember, to film. Yeah. And it was funny, at the end, they came up to me and they said, I'm sorry, we realized we can't use a lot of this because we didn't know how risque it was going to be.
Well, I was going to say also, I had to... Okay, so there was 3 groups. There was 2 regular people, and then there was these 2 chicks from some singing group or whatever. Yeah, they had boobs everywhere. And then there was me, Trevor, and Tori. And I'm like, well, how are we gonna beat the crew shadows? This is gonna be hard. So I was like, we got to turn this up. Yep. So I turned it all the way up, and I created this character that wanted to win the game, to win. I think it was makeup. And then Tori was being cute. Trevor took off his shirt for Deadpool, and they were going crazy over us. I was like, I think we got this in the bag. And I remember when you announced that we won, the first thing I did was look at the crew shadows' faces, and they were just like, oh, how dare they? And I was just so happy. And then so then PBS came up to us. Yeah. Well, they brought me to the side. I thought it was just
they did, they interviewed you, and you were actually on the special that they show every year. Yeah. Because you won the big giant basket of makeup, and but they were like, we had so much fun. This was our favorite panel we did the whole time. But
did you know it was PBS before you did the interview or after?
I knew that they were coming to film a special about Dragoncon, but I didn't know who they were with.
I didn't know any of that.
They gave us just little hints, because I think they don't want you to alter the way you would really be, just because a camera is present.
Yeah, because I did the interview and they was like, oh, by the way, this is going on PBS. I was like, what? Sign this release. I was like, oh, I didn't even know that. And then when I look at the special, they also filmed me throughout the con. I was like, they were spying on me too?
Yeah, well, it was fun, they knew they had a winner. That's what it was. They were like, that person that's a winner, follow him.
Is you are part of a band as well?
Yeah. So, because there's at least 3 hours free in my day from 1 to 4 a.m. But no, I do. I love being a musician. as well as being a comedian. And so I play French horn. That's my primary instrument. I play a bunch of instruments, but right now I play with the Atlanta Freedom Bands, which is Atlanta's pride band. And I also play with the Atlanta Philharmonic Orchestra.
Awesome.
And
do you write music too? You just play, or
I've done a little composing, but I don't have a whole lot of time to do it. So, and it's very time consuming. So
see, I didn't know you even played in a band until one night where I used to work. I was a waiter, and this band just came in and just took over and just started playing everywhere. I'm like, what is going on in here? And I was like, wait a minit, is that Candace? It is. And I remember that. I don't think I was y'all's server, but it was.
You weren't, but I
cool.
remember going out and I was like, and you were like, what you doing? And I was like, playing the French horn in your restaurant.
All right, so speaking of music, do you ever do music for like films or television or anything like that?
I have actually. I played French horn recently for a film. It has not come out yet. It's called Pretty Like Me, and so that's an Atlanta-based film. And then I've also done vocals. You can't tell now because now I sound like Rachel Ray. But back in the day when I was still doing Repo the Genetic Opera and things like that, I did the vocals for a film called Demon's Rook. And it was
who made that?
So I actually met them through Repo the Genetic Opera. They were cast members, and Ashley, who worked on The Walking Dead, Ashley Joe, she worked on Walking Dead, and then her husband, they were looking to make their own horror film. It's their genre. And they said, well, we're going to make this thing called Demon's Rook and take it on the road to the independent film festivals. And it became an absolute hit. And it was very, very strange.
See,
very
I
awesome.
feel like I know the people who made this film. Keith Brooks was in it.
Yeah, I think.
Or Lex Lewis.
Lex.
I know there's a pig in there.
Like, Lex Lewis is pretty much in every film that's ever existed somewhere. He's somewhere
yeah.
in the background. He's behind the camera at the bar. Lex is there. Just know that that's a sure bet.
Yeah, he's there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, because I think when I first met Lex, he was telling me about this project that had a pig monster in it.
Yeah.
And then someone else who was working on X-Men was doing that same film. I feel so bad because I can't remember the person who actually made it. But I do remember Demon's Rook. The blonde actress in there, I think that was my Miss Marvel. Anyway, so that's cool as well. And you were telling me like contact lenses. You do those for films as well?
I do. So, comedy doesn't pay well. It doesn't pay the rent. I mean, it can buy you like, something at McDonald's, but it doesn't pay the rent. And so what I do is, for a day job, I actually work in the corneal department for Georgia Eye Partners, and we often are called to go to set to help with contacts for productions here in the city, or if we need to address an issue, or perhaps one of the actors or actresses has had an injury from contact lens wear or something like that, or an eye injury.
So are you more like a safety person, or do you put them in people's eyes?
I've done all of it, actually. Kind of an interesting story. I've done contact lenses for Steven Tyler. Like when he came to Atlanta, he needed to put some contact lenses in, and he nor anyone in his, right, nor anyone in his camp could do it. And so they called us, and I was like, I'll come on down there and do that. So they were the nicest people ever, and they let me actually sit on stage and watch the whole concert after I put the lenses in for free. So that was pretty good.
Like backstage or like front row or somewhere?
From side stage. So
awesome.
I could almost reach out and touch him.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
well, you kind of did, right?
Yeah, I did touch him already. So I was like, now I don't need to reach out anymore. Just sit here.
The good kind of touch, not the. Is there a bad touch for him? Yeah, I don't know if there's a bad touch.
I don't know if there's a bad touch with Steven Tyler.
Well, as always, I'm so glad that you came by the show. You have been great. And what are certain things that you want the people out there to know that you're promoting right now? Okay,
so I'd say the takeaway from today is that I have recently gone from not just comedian, but to captain. And that is, I'm now the president of Dragoncon. Oh, really? Yeah, I was just named that 2 months ago. And so I've been working really hard to help restructure the con and create a new, bigger, more inclusive, more industry-heavy convention and I'm really excited about it. So I hope that we can have lots of LGBT plus and friends and allies, and just have a great time. It's like 300 of your best friends in a hotel having a party all weekend, and that is going to be the second weekend in May 2018, 11th through 13th. And so I hope. Is
there anything you can give away? Like, is there going to be things, or is it too early to even know that?
Oh yeah, like I know that we have already been. Well, I guess it's a little too early, but I will say this: I can hint that we have been very fortunate in several of the movie studios, who also happen to have comic books that I love, have been very generous in that they are going to be likely donating our swag bags this year for the convention, and they are very supportive of our mission, and they're going to be giving away a lot of stuff and sending it to me, and I'll just be stockpiling it in my 1-bedroom apartment for a year throughout the year.
I was there like 2 years ago. No, it was like 2 years ago, I think. Has the numbers grown since then?
So very minimally. They have a great job the con has done a great job of keeping its retention, in that, you know, just about 100% of people come back every year. People, once they come, they're like, this is really fun, I'm going to do it again. But they had kind of plateaued. They didn't know how to grow it further. How do you spread the message?
That's where you come in.
And that's where I come in, because my specialty is, with very little means, I can create a fun atmosphere and fun things to do, and get the word out there, and grow people and get folks there and through the door. And one of the ways we're doing it, actually, is with the Rainbow Pub Crawl, which we had talked about.
Well, I was going to say, how would you break down? Because I kind of get this confused too between Atlanticon and Gay Lexicon. Oh,
so Gay Lexicon is the International Gay Gaming Society. They are a traveling group that goes from state to state and has an event annually. And so other smaller conventions then bid to have them come and celebrate with them for the year. And so we actually won the 2018 bid. So not only is there Atlanticon going on, but we are playing host and hostess to the Gay Lexicon members, who are also coming in from around the country. So
they're like a network guest.
They are. It's going to be more attendees, more people to meet and greet and network with. They bring with them new fun folks to meet, and more gaming opportunities. And they have a chocolate symposium, and they're just it's fun. It's like an extra 100 people that you wouldn't have maybe met otherwise, because they are, throughout Canada and South America, and they're all going to be here with us as well.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, I'm sorry before I interrupt you earlier.
Oh, no, it's fine. But like, one of the ways we're trying to get the word out there and help to sell tickets is with our most upcoming fundraising event, and that is the Rainbow Pub Crawl. And it's going to be on Friday, September the 22nd, and it's held through MarksterCon events. And so we'll be going through the Virginia Highlands, and the combo ticket includes 5 drinks from the bars, plus a commemorative pen, and it can even include your Atlanticon full weekend pass. And
that's a good incentive.
Right. And so it's a steal of a deal. It's a great way to have a good time and just, gate up through the Virginia Highlands. And, I'm excited.
So how can they, where do they go? What's the links or?
So, I would say that because I don't have my phone right here in front of me, but you can go on MarksterConEvents.com. You can also find us at MarksterCon on Facebook. You can also buy them directly through Atlanticon. We have links on our webpage, which is, of course, Atlanticon.org. And we're also on Facebook, Outlanticon, spelled O-U-T, Outlanticon.
It'll be links in the description.
That's right. And through all those avenues, you can find your way to the Rainbow Pub Crawl and have a great time with us, get some drinks, have a party, and then, of course, join us in May for the actual convention.
All right. Well, thanks so much for gracing me with your presence.
Oh, no, thank you.
And it's always such a good time, and hopefully come next year when you've done more stuff, you can come back to the Green Show.
That'll be amazing. And then I'll be like, remember my humble beginnings on the Green Show? And you'll be like, yes, I remember those days. And we'll be like in big plush couches, and you'll be even more famous than you already are.
Well, this would be a throne. And there'll be some color behind me. It's just too white.
Just a pop of color.
Oh, I tried to put a color behind here, but I can't nail anything on these walls. So it's kind of weird. Anyway, all right. So if you want to follow more of Candace, do you have a Twitter or thing or whatever?
I have Facebook, and I'm not really. Funny enough, I'm not very tech savvy. Even though I have decided I am going to learn how to tweet. I need to know how to Twitter.
Yeah. If you're a big comedian, I think that people will just subscribe to you just to get a joke of the week or something.
Oh my gosh, I could totally do a joke of the week. Yeah. I'm going to credit that to you.
If you have an assistant. They could make sure your Twitter's is relevant and popping and up to date and everything.
Where does one get one of these assistants?
I think you have to get married first.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure. Or close to it. Engaged maybe at least. I don't know, whatever. All right.